Get ready to uncover truths and reality of today's politics. Here's your host, Lori Mills.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Uncover California. I'm Lori Mills. As you can see, I've got my Charlie Kirk hat on, and this world suffered a huge loss. I wasn't good friends with Charlie. I had met him a few times, taken photos with him, and I felt like I knew him because I used to listen to his debates all the time. I thought he was so brilliant. And he was a member of our church. My pastor, Rob McCoy, was his pastor. What happened to him should have never happened in America. And I'm going to play a video right now where Charlie talks about and predicts, and I would say prophesied, an assassination. And he asks, who is the bigger threat, Donald Trump or Joe Biden? Well, Charlie, it looks like you were. You were reaching so many children and so many school-age kids. You were the threat. But the next man up is coming, and it's all of us.
Oh, what she's doing is she's trying to get out the visual and the idea of assassinating Donald Trump. This is where this is headed. I hope everyone understands, whether it be Julius Caesar, Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Bobby Kennedy. Assassinations of major political leaders are nothing new. And yet we've kind of been immune to that for a couple of decades. We have been warning about this for months. Now, the very interesting question is, will they try to kill Joe Biden or Donald Trump? That's the interesting question. Which one right now is a bigger threat to them? And that I'll let the audience kind of ruminate on that question. But we've been warning about this for quite some months. This is why the next man up philosophy is so important and why we wanted to do the show with you, Steve, as a show of force, is that you take one out, 100 more appear. You take one out, 1,000 more appear. You take one out, 10,000 more appear. You take one out, we give more money. You take one out, we register more voters. You take one out, is that it only actually makes us stronger.
I have a funny story about Charlie. First time I ever met him was at a American Freedom Alliance. I think he was young. He was in his 20s, so probably 5 years ago. And we took a picture together, and he was just such a sweet guy. He was just gracious and kind. And then I ran into him again at the Reagan Library one time, and we joked around, and he took a photo. Still didn't know who the heck I was because I'm really nobody in the shadow of all things. And saw him at my church a few times. But I started doing debates. I would go on Jubilee Surrounded and Jubilee Middle Ground. And the day that I debated Dean Withers, I was coming out of the studio and a black SUV pulled up, and the window came down, and it was Charlie. It was a really bad area of town. And he looked at me and he goes, am I in the right place? Because let's face it, Charlie got death threats every day. He was demonized by left-wing radicals that to this day, and the Democrat leadership, call our side of the aisle Nazis, white supremacists. They call you a racist. And Charlie said something in one of his debates. That is, when open dialogue ends, violence begins. And we've seen that violence. And I don't want to hear from the left this happens in both sides, because it doesn't. Bullets are flying in one direction, period. They bring up that state senator that was shot. Well, according to reports, that was somebody that was pro-illegal immigration, and she voted wrong. He killed her. The person had no King's protests in his car, so left-wing activists killed her, not one of our side. You look at today, I was watching the news, and this kid, Mangione, the healthcare system screwed up, but they're now applauding the murder of a CEO that ran a pharma company. And trust me, I'm not a fan of big pharma, But you can't celebrate someone who shoots someone in the back for not agreeing. When I ran for the state assembly, and you guys have probably heard this story before, I was demonized by my opponent. 500,000 postcards were sent to the public in my area saying that I was a MAGA extremist, which I am a MAGA extremist. But then she said I had Hitler ideology. Do you know what that does to deranged minds in the public? After the election, I couldn't go back to my business. I was being stalked. I had people watch me all over town. And I even had them come to my house. That is the danger that our side is in. We've had 2 assassination attempts on the president, and yet Democrats keep pushing their narrative for power. And we know what happens when they have power. Children are trafficked into our country. 20 million people from all over the world are led into our country. And I don't know if you saw the report in Texas, an illegal immigrant just beheaded somebody in front of their family. They demonize ICE. ICE needs to wear their masks. Their families need to be kept safe from the cartels and from people that get very extreme. What left-wing power structure doesn't understand, or maybe they do and they want to do this, their vitriol and their rhetoric is killing people. To think that you don't care enough about this country in order to keep power is disgusting. But I'll tell you guys, our God is good. And we are watching, after the death of our beloved Charles, a revival in this nation. People are coming back to Jesus. And I want to tell you what he's done for me over the last 3 days. Charlie was murdered. And that day, I was like, we have to do something. So I started making phone calls, and I knew our pastor, Pastor Rob. I thought he was in Korea or maybe over to be with the family of Charlie Kirk because they were so close. Pastor Rob was his pastor. I called Big Calvary Chapel in Westlake Village and I say, hey, can we do a candlelight vigil on your grass? And I was told, we don't do that here. I want the people that go there to reconsider the church that you're going to. That night I got a text message from my church, God's People, Newberry Park, and I came. And people were sitting around praying, crying. We were together. People were prophesying. We were worshiping, and God met us there. The Holy Spirit fell on his people. And though I have cried many tears, since then, it's not a cry of hopelessness or despair. It is a cry of steadfastness. It is a cry for not backing down. And it is a cry to get right with Jesus Christ. So the next day, I started making phone calls because I still felt that we needed to do something for Charlie. And I called someone. They invited me to come over and offered their venue to the Republican Party for free to hold a vigil. We cried, we prayed, we said how much we wanted Pastor Rob there, and we both texted him knowing that he probably couldn't come. And he texted us back and he said, I'll be there. After that, I had an entertainment company, basically asked if they could do something for us, and they got back to us and said they wanted $5,000. We couldn't do that. Not that fast, not right now. And my husband's in the entertainment industry. He provided lighting, audio, visuals, everything. The next day, just everything fell into place. Katie Zachariah from Fox News, political strategist. I ran into her at the Overflowing Church on Sunday. And she goes, oh, you have to let me introduce Rob. So many people wanted to be a part of this. But the day of, and I've never planned an event this fast or this big in all of my life, 3,000 people turned out in Moore Park to honor the life of Charlie Kirk. And I want to call you people. God's separating the wheat from the chaff right now. And it's time for you to choose. It truly is. Are you going to be on the side of child mutilation, murder, and lies? Or are you going to be on the side of Jesus Christ? So I want to say to you, if you're a prodigal and you used to walk with Jesus, but life's gotten busy and you're still a good person, but your walk with God isn't coming first, I encourage you, wake up every morning, read a Bible verse, and start your day with God and ask Him to come into you stronger than ever before. Rededicate your life to Jesus. And for those of you that are out there that don't believe, life is short. We're all going to meet our Maker. And just because you don't believe doesn't mean God isn't real. So I'm going to ask of you, pray. Ask Jesus Christ to reveal Himself to you. And when you do that, I want you to start in the book of John. And I want you to pray every time before you read for God to open His word to you. And then, or even before then, I want you to say a prayer. Lord, thank you, God in the flesh, for coming to earth and dying for my sins. I thank you that you died on the cross for my sins and you rose again on the third day. Equip yourself, you guys. We will be full of love, but you are the next man up. And it's time for you to speak boldly, speak loudly, be respectful, but do not let the lie take any more power in this nation. Show up at your Board of Supervisors meetings, show up at your city council meetings, and own your own neighborhood. Contact your local Republican Party or your local candidates and walk a neighborhood for them. It's up to you to save this nation. So, I want to thank you for letting me rant. And now let's get on today's show because we're not backing down. On today's show, we have Herb Morgan. He's running for California controller. Doesn't want to control you. He wants to see where California's monies went and hold people accountable and put us in the right direction. Our second guest, frontline doctor, Dr. Stella Immanuel, who's going to tell us about a product line to keep you healthy. And I just started using this product, and let me tell you, this is basically trying to help you remove brain fog. And I can tell you after the last 3 days I've had, it's working because I can talk to you today. It's pretty amazing. Pretty good too. Tastes really good. So this one is called Revive Immunolite. So we're going to talk about our products, talk about different health issues that people have, and what she has as a doctor, not involved with big pharma, to help you. So everybody, God bless you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. General Michael Flynn, I need you to go buy his new books. The Role of the Church, The Citizen's Guide to Fifth Generation Warfare. On the General Flynn store, you can find all sorts of great things to get you prepared to be equipped with truth. If you guys could support the show, use generalflynn.com/REF/Lori Mills, and you'll help uncover California while equipping yourself for the battle ahead. Local politics has national impact. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Our first guest is running for California controller. What is that? Is that somebody that wants to control you? No, it's somebody that's going to find out what's happening with all of our money here in California. Herb Morgan, welcome to Uncover California.
Well, thanks, Laura. It's good to be with you.
For the audience out there, Tell everybody what a controller is.
Well, a controller is oftentimes a financial officer of a company. But in the case of the California state controller, the state controller is one of the 8 executive offices elected by the people. It's constitutional. And that individual serves as the chief fiscal and financial officer of the entire state and all of its subsidiaries. That means counties, cities, agencies, departments, things like high-speed rail, universities, prisons, parks, highways, gasoline highway taxes, all of those financial entities and avenues fall under the direction of the California State Controller.
So tell everybody about your background. I'm assuming it was all in financial, right?
That would be a good assumption, and it would be, in my opinion, if I will be voting, but any voter should think, how about the background of this person? Does it lend him or her to be successful, perhaps, at the position? Do they have a financial background? So I do. 38 years in asset management, Wall Street, for lack of a better term. I've been with a number of different major companies, major firms in executive levels and senior management roles. But about 2004, I did what a lot of Americans do, which is you get an entrepreneurial bug in the spirit, and I decided to launch my own company. So I launched a company at that time. We grew it to about 1.5 billion. And one day I got a call. And the call was from somebody representing a company called Cantor Fitzgerald. They asked if I would be interested in selling my company. I did sell to them in 2017, joined the firm. I am still employed. I still work there. No affiliation with my campaign, obviously, but I am set to retire at the end of 2026. And I thought, well, what will I do next? I want to take these great skills that I've learned over 38 years, and I want to avail them to the citizens of our state, because I think it's very, very clear that we have financial mismanagement at a very, very high level in California.
So in California, I hate to say it, but I have said California is one of the largest money laundering operations in the country. We have the homeless population, which we have bureaucracies making hundreds of thousands of dollars and sometimes over $1 million to give out crack pipes and needles. And yet the problem is getting larger. There are things like what happened in the Palisades with the fire money. Where did that fire money go? Because it sure as heck didn't go to the victims. And the high-speed rail, you brought that up. Herb, what is your commitment to Californians as far as holding these bureaucracies accountable? And will you doge California and find out where all this money went?
Well, let me step back. My decision to run was inspired by the success of Doge. The federal budget, so much of it is entitlements. There's defense spending upon which both sides kind of agree. We spend a lot on defense. There's the interest component, which is not negotiable or debatable. And so the sides spend a tremendous amount of time on about 15% of the budget arguing. And then what Doge did is he said, okay, we're going to focus there, but we're also going to move over to the entitlement side. We're going to try to identify and eliminate individuals that are taking distributions from the entitlement programs that may not be legally eligible. And I thought, well, how can anybody object to that? You shouldn't be able to get payout if you didn't pay in. And so that's what Doge did. I was inspired by that. But the thing that really got me to the point where I said, all right, that's it, I'm in, was the homeless spending, and you mentioned it. I want to preface that comment by saying that, I'm a Republican, and as a Republican, I think we're the liberals. And by liberal, I mean in the classical sense, right? Thomas Jefferson type of liberal. And that means we care, and we want to solve problems, and we want to try new ideas. Somehow the left has taken over that they're liberal and progressive, but the evidence suggests they're anything but. When you think about the homeless spending, let's just talk about just one city in our glorious Republic of California. That city is Los Angeles. They had a program called Inside Safe. It spent $2.5 billion. In a way that it spends the money is it takes the money and it gifts it or grants it to a nonprofit agency, because the nonprofit agency has as its mission to assist the homeless people. Sounds pretty good, right?
No, it
Who would
isn't.
argue? Yeah, exactly right.
No, it isn't.
And so the citizens of Los Angeles were saying, this doesn't appear to be getting any better, but each year we spend more and more and more money. And a lot of that is state granted money. They spend more and they spend more. So they demanded that their city controller, a guy named Ken Mejia, that he audit it. And Ken, rightfully, and he's a left-wing Democrat, Ken said, you know what? Yeah, I will. I'll do my job I was elected to do. I'm going to audit. I'm going to do what's called a performance audit, and I'll find where the $2.5 billion went. So he called up the mayor and said, okay, I'm going to go do this audit. The mayor of Los Angeles is Karen Bass.
Evil woman.
Karen Bass said, no, you can't. She got her city attorney, a friend, a fellow Democrat, to come up with a legal opinion that says that the city controller of Los Angeles cannot audit the spending of the city of Los Angeles unless the mayor says so. And they said, absolutely no. So the citizens were angry. The city controller was angry. And he went to a federal judge. And the federal judge was so disgusted by what he saw that he ordered an independent audit. He couldn't trust anybody because they were all behaving like children. And what he found in this independent audit of the homeless spending was that they did not track the spending. They literally just didn't even track it. I mean, basic QuickBooks accounting. If you own a dry cleaner or a coffee cart, you do accounting. They did not verify services were performed. In other words, they granted money to an organization and never went to check and see, were they feeding the homeless? Were they housing them? Were they clothing them? Were they providing them addiction services or alcohol treatment services? There were multiple contracts issued for identical services.
Mm-hmm.
So they were literally, according to the audit, according to the judge, just copying the contracts, and then they assigned different values. So if Lori's nonprofit needed $1.5 million, the contract was for $1.5 million for X, and then Herb's nonprofit got paid $7.5 million for X. So literally the same contract for the same purpose to different people for different amounts, and they found it over and over and over again. And that's when I realized that the business model of California politics is, as you put it, a giant money laundering operation. And it sickened me to the bottom of my stomach. I tend to believe and think the best in people and take them at their word and their motives. But sadly and regretfully, I came away convinced that 20 years of one-party rule in our state has led to absolute corruption. And we no longer have, if you remember from Ronald Reagan's administration, they talked about trickle-down economics, and people could debate whether it was good or bad to cut the top rates because, Reagan argued it helped everybody at the bottom more because it trickled down. California just has trickle away economics. The money, it doesn't trickle up, it doesn't trickle down, it trickles away. And it trickles into the pockets of politically connected people. And because only one party has any power, all those people are politically connected to the party, the Democratic Party. They are corrupt at their core. And I have a plan. I think we can fix it.
So you better be careful. They might call you a racist or a Nazi for saying so, Herb. The vitriol on the left right now is absolutely incredible to me, and it led to the death of Charlie Kirk. What I have been seeing before even Charlie's passing is we have been going to the city council meetings. We have been going to the board of supervisors meetings because these NGOs that you're talking about are now there demanding millions of taxpayer dollars to fund their NGOs. Now, funny enough, your state assembly members on the Democrat side, your city council members on the Democrat side, your board of supervisors on the Democrat side are asking for this money to be released to the NGOs, and I am convinced that that money is being funneled back into their campaign. And it is money to break federal law. It is money to go into a call center to dox ICE. It is mind-blowing to me. I have reported on the missing migrant kids for 4 years, and they found 14 of these trafficked kids in my county. As we stand before these committees saying, no, you can't use our tax dollars, and this is what they're doing with our money, these NGOs laugh at the thought of a child being trafficked. It doesn't exist according to them. And my witnesses are fact witnesses, but we see this with Arabella Advisors. We see this with Open Society Foundation, which funnels down into Churla, into Indivisible, which are these left-wing activist groups, and they're all Democrats or part of the Socialist Liberation Party. Are you looking at anything like that?
Let's just say, as a citizen of the city of San Diego, I want to look at the financial spending of a single department. I call up and ask for that. I'm going to be told absolutely not. If a city council member calls up and asks and says, I want to see the books and records of the police department, the libraries, my school district, they will be told no. The county supervisor, if the mayor, they're just told no. I see it time and time again on my Twitter and my X feed, where a state assembly member or a state senator demands spending accountability in a program and has to call for an audit. What? It doesn't make any sense. Why would a sitting assembly member, regardless of party, need to get an audit or a court order to get access to the spending? We have the Freedom of Information Act, so they're required ultimately, if you or I go to get that spending information, they're required to give it to us. But they will stonewall, drag their feet, claim they didn't have the resources. And ultimately, the only way a citizen can get access to the spending data is through a judge and through a lawsuit. And most citizens can't afford a lawsuit, right? We can barely afford eggs and new clothes and our house payment and $5.50 gas and ridiculous homeowners insurance costs and everything else that we have to contend with on a daily basis. So this is the model of California politics, right? It's money laundering and it's obfuscation. So I thought, well, that's just ridiculous. That's not right. If the state Senate minority leader wants to see the checkbook for the high-speed rail authority, he or she should be able to. And you know what? So should Herb Morgan or Lori Mills or anybody else. It is your money. It is your tax dollars. And if anybody objects to you seeing the spending, now I'm not talking about a consolidated financial report, because that's all we get now, right? They put it up on their website. They say, oh, look at us. Here's 2022's report, annual report. And then maybe it gets audited, maybe it doesn't. But all you see is spending categories. You don't see where the money's being spent, who's getting the contract, how connected is the person on the other end of that contract to the entity awarding the contract. Are they political donors? Were they fraternity brothers in college? Did they put their kids were on a soccer team together? Yeah. What is the relationship between all of these people? And I firmly believe, A, that we have more money than we could ever possibly need to provide the greatest services in the history of mankind. But B, we can do it. We can do all of that with far more once we expose where the money's going. And I'll say this. If anybody doesn't believe me, expose the spending on just one city, on just one department, on just one agency. And by golly, if you have nothing to hide, then the citizens will know you have nothing to hide, and we'll move on to the next topic. But I have spent 38 years around money. I know money. And I know there's something very, very wrong in the state of California.
I'm not a financial person, and I can find the ties. I mean, they're blatantly doing it. They don't even hide it anymore. That's the crazy part to me. If when you become controller of California, would you pledge, if you see criminality, will you turn it over to the U.S. attorney? And do you think the people of California can get accountability for being ripped off for decades?
Well, I would absolutely turn it over to any law enforcement agency that would take it up. That would include a U.S. attorney. It would include the state attorney general. It would include anybody that would have authority to prosecute. And that's not just prospectively. I want to look at this spending data, and I want to go backwards too. I want to go backwards through the entire Newsom administration, through the entire period of ultra one-party control. 40 to 44% of Californians vote for a Republican in a statewide election, and I think we're going to break through 50 this time around. But we have 20% of the seats in the two houses of the legislature. Why is that? It's really wrong. So if I could, I'll put it all in perspective and tell you the plan. In 2019-20 fiscal year, we had a $185 billion budget in the state of California. It's an absolutely massive number. This year, for the year that started July 1st, that went up to $325 billion. 185 to 325 in just 5 years, 6 years. Do we have better education?
No.
Better roads?
No.
Do we have better parks?
No.
Do we have better healthcare, homeless services? And the answers to every one of those things, of course, is absolutely not. The problem is, unless you've been around money your entire career, it's hard to fathom how much is $325 billion. I'm going to put it in perspective. In California, we have 13,000 miles of state highway. Imagine, if you will, that 10% of that has a guardrail, steel corrugated guardrail. That's 1,300 miles of steel, but it's on both sides, so it's 2,600 miles of steel guardrail, enough to go from San Diego to New York City. That's how much guardrail we have in the state of California. Gold is about $3,600 an ounce. If we were to gold plate, think about that, gold plate our guardrails, the advertising for the Chamber of Commerce would be amazing. Visit California, go to Disneyland, ski Mammoth, see the Golden Gate, hug a redwood, and drive along the golden highways. We could gold plate all the guardrails in the state of California. How much would it cost? $13 billion. Wow. Our budget is $325 billion. So when you say that, everybody says, wow, now I know how much money we have. We are the wealthiest country in the world. We are the wealthiest state within the wealthiest country in the world. We have the highest everything. If we were our own economy, we'd have fourth largest in the world. We just passed Japan. Yet all I ever hear from the other side is there's not enough money to solve our problems. If we just had more money, we'd solve them this time. The Democrats are Lucy. Okay, remember Lucy from Peanuts with the football? And the Republicans, or the voters, are Charlie Brown. We keep voting for Lucy. We keep believing she's going to let us kick that football through the goalposts. And right when we think we've got it, we vote for them. We think it's going to be good. What do? They pull the football away because they are so crooked, so corrupt around the money. And if you solve the money problem, then you can solve all of the other problems.
You know,
I've got a plan for that.
Well, Herb, you know what? We're already out of time, believe it or not. I'm like, boy, that went fast.
Wow.
Incredible conversation. However, before we get going, there's a couple things I would like for you to address. California's ties to the CCP and also the pension debt that this state has. Can you say a few things about that?
Well, any ties to the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, are inappropriate. And I'll just leave that there. I do have deep experience on pension matters because I was put in after the San Diego City pension scandals and Enron by the Sea. I was put in by Republican Mayor Jerry Sanders. I worked with my colleagues to solve the problem, to fix the issues, lower the assumed rate of return. When you lower the assumed rate of return, you do increase the debt. The debt, it's just a number. It is massive, and we need to honor the commitments we paid to the workers of our state. If you earned it, you get it. But we've got to pay for it. We've got to prioritize it. And I think, quite frankly, we probably need to look very closely at a lot of the actuarial assumptions within CalPERS and CalSTRS, particularly life expectancy. We're a healthy bunch out here, and we're living longer and longer, and we need to recognize that. We need to shore up both of those systems.
Well, I guess my question would be, where did the money that the people put in go?
Well, the money for the pensions is in trust funds. It's there. It's invested. I think, honestly, I think the investment folks are doing a good job there. Where I take issue, where I think there's room for repair and improvement, is in a lot of the additional post-employment benefits. As a controller, I don't have authority to make law. I can teach, I can advocate, I can educate the legislature. They do that. Even the legislature has very little ability to do anything about pension payments, because you'll have a judge look at it and say, no, you have a contract. This guy started working when he was 28 and now he's 63 and he's retired. You got to pay him. You don't have a choice. Okay. But we have massive amounts of other post-employment benefits in the state of California that absolutely could be looked at.
Yeah, well, I can tell you in Ventura County for sure, we found out that the pension money was going to a Chinese Communist Party trust. So we've got a lot of collusion going on there. Herb, tell everybody where they can find you on social media, where they can donate to your campaign, and what your website is.
All of the social media handles are Herb for Controller. My website is herbmorgan.com. Please go, donate, volunteer, fill out the form. You'll get the information and the updates. And you will learn about the plan, which I call Radical Transparency, which is to publish every transaction of every agency every day online, write it to a blockchain ledger so it can't be tampered with, it can't be changed. herbmorgan.com. We are going to fix California, but we've got to get in office.
And I'm going to give a call to action to you voters and to you citizens of California. You cannot expect other people to do the work of getting good candidates elected. After Charlie, you're the next man up. That's you. That means you own your own neighborhood. Contact your local Republican Party. We have the tools to let you own your own neighborhood and avoid knocking on Democrat doors so you don't have to feel uncomfortable. But all hands on deck. What has happened in our country? We're not doing it anymore. So I call on you to go to Herb's website, to follow him on social media, but volunteer. Take your own neighborhood. Everybody is up. Herb, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure I'll have you on after the primary.
It's an absolute pleasure. It's always good to see you, and thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, everybody, stay tuned because next we have Dr. Stella Immanuel, who's going to tell us about her medical products to prevent you from getting ill. And Big Pharma is not involved, so I think you're going to like it. Okay, guys, I have great news. The MAHA Mall has new merch. The new Trump collection is over the top. Look at my new hat. FAFO, you know what that means. So if you want one of these hats or one of the other great hats that they have for merchandise, go to themagamall.com and use promo code CALI, CALI, and get your FAFO hat. Or you can get a Trump 2028 hat and trigger the left. It's a great time here at Uncover California. Our next guest, you may have seen her, and I'm going to play a little video clip for you. Dr. Stella Immanuel.
This morning, one of the doctors featured in a now banned viral video about the coronavirus is speaking out.
Of course they think I'm dangerous because I'm speaking truth.
Dr. Stella Immanuel was part of a video Monday that featured a group of doctors claiming without evidence that there's a cure for COVID-19. In the clip, Immanuel pushes hydroxychloroquine as part of a cure for the disease, a view largely discredited by health experts. The president retweeted the video, which was eventually taken down by Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube for violating misinformation policy.
Dr. Stella Immanuel, welcome to Uncover California.
I'm excited to be here tonight, as always. And I know that it's been a sad week for all of us, but we just have to thank God that, Charlie went home to be with the Lord. He has finished his course, and as we need to get from mourning to celebrating and make sure we don't get into the violence that they are trying to get us into right now,
Well, it's interesting you say that because when Charlie was killed, we went to church and we prayed. There was no looting. There was no buildings burnt down. And I think that would have dishonored Charlie anyway. It seems to me the bullets are flying in one direction. No offense to them, but the rhetoric against people saying, well, you're a racist or you're a Nazi or you're all of these words, that rhetoric is what killed Charlie Kirk, because there's crazy people out there and yet the left just doesn't stop. Now, you were a victim of this. You're a frontline doctor. And I have to say, I just received your product as samples. I was exhausted because we threw a huge Charlie Kirk vigil last night. Over 3,000 people came. And today I have tried your anti-brain fog, give me energy powder drink, and it tastes really good. I'm serious. I'm like obsessed with it. I'm like, I don't want normal water anymore. But you told me if I drink this at night, I won't be able to sleep.
Yeah, because it's going to give you energy, so you'll be up cleaning your house. But here's the thing. It's not just energy and brain fog. It also has viral immune. It has vitamin C, D, zinc, and quercetin. So it helps you build your immunity against a lot of these crazy viruses. It also has cellular repair. It has resveratrol. It has CoQ10. So we put that together to help people repair what the craziness that has happened to our immune system. So that's why it's an amazing product. And then, of course, people take it for a workout drink. I drink it every day. It's my I've not gotten sick for the past 5 years, so it's my daily drink. So it gives you energy, brain fog. Even people that have like ADHD and problem with focusing, they take it. You can give your children before they go to school, and it will help them focus in school. It's a great product. COVID Life Revive. It's a great product. Yeah.
So it works with children that get brain fog, or tell me about that.
See, you remember that children that have ADHD, they have problem focusing. So when you take this, it helps you to focus. It has ginkgo biloba, it has purine, it has things that, nutraceuticals that will help you deal with brain fog and help you focus. So like children from about 8 and above can take it. I mean, it's a supplement, it's not a medicine really. So you just mix it in a bottle of water and let your 8-year-old drink it, your 10-year-old drink it before they go to school. It will help them focus in school. I have adults that have been on ADHD medicine for years, and they take this and it helps them focus. It helps take away brain fog, it helps memory because of all the nutrients that we have in it. Apart from, it has heart health too. It helps, it has an acetylcysteine, it has resveratrol with like cellular repair, and there's your multivitamins. So when you're taking it, you're taking your multivitamins, you're taking your supplements in just one drink. It's an amazing product.
Okay, so before we get into your product line, because I want to ask you medical questions and see what you have that would help with that. You were a frontline doctor, and during COVID, you tried to tell the truth about what happened. Tell everybody your story. I think for those that don't know you, they need to hear who you are. Tell everybody.
Yeah, 2020, I'm in Houston, running my clinic, which I had just acquired from a Japanese doctor. So about maybe 15 to 20% of my patients were Asian. And then we hear about COVID coming. So we had to figure out how to take care of COVID. And then somebody told me that in Europe, they were using hydroxychloroquine. I went online, did some studies, did some research, found out that there was a study under Anthony Fauci that said chloroquine was a potent inhibitor of SARS-CoV-1. I went to medical school in West Africa. So I knew about chloroquine, all that stuff, hydroxychloroquine and everything. So I just started using the malaria dose because I've taken care of malaria for years. We took care of newborns, babies, pregnant women. We gave them chloroquine, hydroxychloroquine. So I just started using that to treat the patients, and I found out that they were doing well. So I went online and I was like, we are treating COVID with hydroxychloroquine and people are doing well. At that time, President Trump had just come and mentioned hydroxychloroquine, so everybody lost their minds. They started attacking me. They were like, no, I was part of a big doctor group online that had about 30,000 doctors. They kicked me out. So that is how we started getting together. At some point, I knew that this was demonic. This was not, it's not possible that we're taking care of patients. My oldest patient at that time was like an 87-year-old that had diabetes that I treated and did well. So you could just drive through any neighborhood or entering any city, you will see a big billboard of 7,000 people infected, 1,500 died, and 3,600 recovered. It was just scary. Everybody was locked up, hiding in their homes, and I could see people dying from a disease that was treatable. At some point, I could not handle it. I was going crazy, just like I could just not handle it. So when we were going to DC, I told my family, I said, I'm going to DC. I don't know whether I'll make it back. This stuff is demonic. This is not real. This is not science. They are trying to kill people. I said, so I'm going to go to DC and I'm going to speak out. I don't know whether I'll make it back. If I perish, I perish. So that was the mindset I had when I arrived in DC in 2020. So I just stood in front of the microphone and I went crazy off. And God in his infinite mercy used my voice. It rang throughout the whole world to wake people up. I was warning people about not taking the vaccine. I was warning people about that this was demonic. I've always said it. COVID was a Trojan horse for the vaccine, the mRNA vaccine. The mRNA or technology, the mRNA technology is a Trojan horse for transhumanism. And they have not stopped. Even as we are right now focusing, everybody's mind is focusing on Charlie Kirk. They are still passing laws and still, in fact, we just took our focus away from the argument that, RFK was bringing to Congress about vaccines and making sure that we know. At the same time, Trump was meeting with Bill Gates, and Bill Gates is saying that, praising Operation Warp Speed and saying that, they have to do with genetic editing or, just saying that he wants to use his money to make sure that they have this gene therapy everywhere. So we are still in a battle, and most people don't realize it because they feel like, well, Trump won, everything is over. No, it's not. We still have Moderna, Pfizer, even DARPA is still producing mRNA vaccine, mRNA technology to take over all parts of our lives. And this.
Wow. So for me, I got COVID. I still have a cough, but you gave me this spray that I'm using because it's almost like a long COVID, I think. When I had COVID, I had the Delta variant. And it was toward the beginning of, I went to the doctors and my doctor said, go home until you can't breathe. And I went, wow. I did a couple telemedicine calls. All said, well, there's nothing we can really give you for it. And I was listening to Dr. Malone and I was listening to Dr. McCullough, who said ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin, and they were censored and they started pushing remdesivir. And I have a dear friend whose husband was a doctor who was given remdesivir in the hospital and he died. In my opinion, and I'm just going to put it out there, I think they let people die in order to get Trump out of office. So, and I never got the vax. I'm proud that I never got the vax. And my husband has watched probably 7 people in his circle die. And I'm talking 31 years old, young people that are just suddenly dying. That's a reality of this mRNA vaccine, isn't it, Dr. Stella?
It was bigger than Trump. At that time, everybody was trying to get Trump out of the office, but it was a worldwide phenomenon. They were pushing this all over the world. What had Trump being in office got to do with Italy? Do you understand what I'm saying? Or got to do with Brazil or places like Australia or Canada where they practically forced everybody to get vaccinated. So at that time, we were telling the American people that this is a worldwide phenomenon. They are really trying to inject mRNA into everyone. So people were like, no, it's about Trump winning. I said, no, it's not. It was bigger than that, So basically, it's just the whole idea is about injecting through the mRNA, and they didn't mind killing as many people because a lot of people like Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, Yuval Noah that are pushing all this stuff, they are eugenics. They don't mind killing people. They want many people to die. And at the bottom line, the devil wants to kill people before Jesus has a chance to save their soul. Because the way we're going right now, the Lord Jesus will have to come and stop it. The Bible says that if these days were not shortened, no flesh will survive. So if they don't shorten these days, if God doesn't come and stop this, everybody will be corrupted with mRNA because they are trying to put it in our food, in our cattle, they want to spray it in the air. They want everybody to be genetically modified. They want gene therapy, they want gene modification for everybody. So the Lord began to show us that if you took the vaccine and you regret it and you're terrified, pray Titus chapter 3, verse 5. You go to my website, drstellamd.com, there will be a tab here that says, if you take the vaccine, do you regret it? Do this prayer. Titus chapter 3, verse 5 says, salvation is by the washing of regeneration and the renewing of the Holy Ghost. So we've seen people repent and they prayed, and we've seen people that were paralyzed get healed, that had heart problems that got healed. This stuff is demonic, but God is still in the business of healing, redeeming, and restoring people's DNA if they cry out to Him, if they repent. So that's what I'll tell people. There's always hope, but you have to make those decisions. So this is not about COVID. COVID had always been a treatable disease, but it was a bioweapon in the first place. It was created for the mRNA technology. And the mRNA technology is created as gene therapy to modify our genetic makeup. The COVID vaccine does not work. It's not safe. It is not effective. It doesn't stop you from catching COVID. It doesn't stop you from spreading it. I had a meme that I put on my website. I said, look at what they said. It doesn't stop you from spreading it. It doesn't stop any of that. So what is the point of taking the vaccine? It is all about getting everybody genetically modified. So humanity needs to wake up. And then now they are going even deeper with AI, which is alien intelligence, which is an agent of darkness, trying to get our minds all captured. So it's time, like I said, everybody needs to be prepared. Make sure that you get, we produce nutraceuticals in the past 5 years to help people build their immunity. People that have long COVID, I mean, you took that spray, you feel better, don't you?
I'm not coughing.
Yeah. We practically produce things to help people feel better. And then we tell people, everybody get hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin in your medicine cabinet. Make sure you stock up food and water. Make sure you give your life to Jesus. Be prepared, because when they come after you, you need to be able to stand and fight and not be a casualty. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Now let's talk about the products that you've created, and maybe I can throw some symptoms at you. I mean, maybe you can tell us what you have that can help people. So for instance, this spray that you sent me, and I just got this stuff yesterday, guys, so I'm going to let you guys know how this does for me over the long run. Since I have had COVID, I have had an intermittent cough. Like, I won't cough for hours and hours, and then all of a sudden I get a tickle in my throat and I need to cough. So before we came on air, I started having one of those spells. Well, Dr. Stella sent me this Covita spray, and I did 4 squirts in my mouth and it went away. Tell us about the Covita spray and what does it do?
See, Covita spray has N-acetylcysteine that is long protected. It has neem. Neem is anti-allergic. It has licorice. Licorice is what they have in lozenges. It also has elderberry. It has quercetin. It has black seed oil. So these are things that it actually protects your airway. It helps with allergies. So if you're having like a sore throat, you spray it works immediately. When you spray it just now, the thing it does is that with N-acetylcysteine, it kind of opens up your airway, and then it protects your airway and stops that irritation in your throat. So, I mean, it works almost immediately because it's supposed to be we did it because when people have COVID, most of the time it's an airway thing, and people have long COVID, they're coughing, they're choking. So when they spray this, it kind of helps them, and it helps them right immediately. It also has quercetin and it has elderberry. So what does it do? It will help you absorb zinc and build your immunity against the next variant.
Interesting. Okay, so now another issue. I'm about to turn 60. Sucks. Getting old sucks. I have found lately that when I can walk around and do things all day. Of course, I'm getting tendinitis now in my ankle, which sucks because I love to walk. But what I've been noticing too is sometimes I get in bed and I will have aches in my legs and sometimes my feet hurt. What is that? And Do you have anything to help with that?
Have you checked your vitamin D, calcium, and everything? And because some of the time as you're getting older, your calcium stores, your bones are a little more brittle. So if you, like I said, if COVID Light has all your vitamins, including calcium. We have something called COVID Sleep, which you probably should use. It has vitamin C, D, zinc, and quercetin that actually helps you for your viral immune. But it has calcium. It has ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is a natural anti-anxiety that relaxes you. And then it has melatonin. That's a natural sleep aid. So we build this stuff so that we're dealing with different things that can happen to you. And then it's also addressing other things while also giving you viral immune. So if you take, start taking COVID Light because of what we have in COVID Light. It's going to start helping you rebuild your immune system, repair on a cellular level. And you're just going to feel, you're going to have a general well-being. You know what I'm saying? Because think about the stuff we have. We have quercetin, we have neem, we have things like ginkgo biloba, CoQ10. We have resveratrol. Resveratrol helps with like cellular repair. We have pomegranate that helps with your, like right there inside your blood vessels and everything. It stops all the clotting and stuff. It helps to flax in your blood vessels. So we have all of that. And I tell people, when you get this product, we sit down and formulate products based on what was happening to people in COVID and then addressing other health issues. So start taking your COVID Light daily. And next time we'll have a show, you're going to tell me how you feel.
I just can't wait. Again, I just got these products yesterday. I'm obsessed with this anti-brain fog Revive Immunolite. It's fabulous. Like, it's so good, you guys. Like, a lot of times I've had those additives that you put in water, and it just tastes so sugary. This is not like that. This tastes natural to me. I actually really like it. Like, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I do need the sleep one because I mean, it's already like 4:19 on the West Coast, and I'm still drinking this stuff, or I'm going to be doing laundry all night.
You're going to be cleaning your house. We used to call it COVID Light. We just changed the name to Revive. It's the same thing. So that, because it really does what we just call it, Revive. It's like an immune, electrolyte, and Revive. People use it for workout and everything. So we tell people, get it. And if you go on our website and you buy anything on our website, if you use promo code Charlie, you'll get a discount. And this is why we put all this, like I said, the Third World War that we're fighting right now is not with bombs and guns, although there are bombs and guns flying in the Middle East. The Third World War is actually with viruses, vaccines, and environmental pollutants. So if you live in a place with fog all the time, use the COVID spray. It's long protected. You know what I'm saying? And then take your COVID Light in the morning daily. I take COVID Light daily, and that's all I've been taking for the past 5 years. Never got sick. It has vitamin C, D, zinc, and quercetin. It has neem. It has everything that I need. So and then we do something for hair loss, because a lot of people are having hair loss from the stress. So we produce something. It has like saw tomato. It has things like keratin and everything. Could be hair bites to help people deal with hair loss. We have N-acetylcysteine to help like with the deep cough. If this doesn't work, add N-acetylcysteine to it. I mean, we've done a lot, and I'm very kind of proud of myself, because I went from just being a doctor that cuts and sews and does and stitches and write prescriptions and support big pharma, to now networking with naturopathic doctors and putting together great supplements to help us stay healthy. If you go on our website right now, we have medicinal moringa, lemongrass. Moringa helps you to control your blood sugar. It helps with weight loss. It helps you deal with a lot of stuff. We have lemongrass.
Oh, show me that one. Show me that one. Do you have that? I think I need that. Dr. Stella, I have a big problem. Yeah, I think I have a mental disorder, and it's anti-anorexia. I think I'm skinny, but I'm fat. So, but I've been eating so much ice cream lately. I ice cream stress eat. Let's go through a few more of your products. We only have 5 minutes left, so I want to make sure we cover a lot of your products. And then everybody, make sure you go on Dr. Stella's website, use promo code Kelly, CALI, and you're going to get a discount. And I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you what this stuff's doing for me next week, and I'm going to follow up with you guys the next week and tell you how this is working. So you're going to have real time. Does it work or does it not? Because if it doesn't, I love Dr. Stella, but I'm going to tell you.
At least told you that spray this cough spray and you stop coughing. You worked already.
Yes. Yes, immediately. It's pretty shocking because I got that tickle and all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh. Okay, so let me ask you this. That other product that you just showed, what is it called again? More, the one that starts
Yeah,
with an M?
moringa. Moringa. We
Moringa.
actually, yes, moringa is a medicinal herb. It helps, like, yeah, it's rich in vitamin C. It has antioxidants. It helps to also in memory. It helps, it has antibacterial. It helps with, digesting your food properly. It actually helps with weight loss, making you feel full, and also kind of helps to with your blood sugar, help your blood sugar metabolize better. And
Wow.
this gotten from a tree. And guess what? All our medicinal herbs, they produce them in Africa with no GMO. They grind them, and I have my family over there that actually produces the medicinal herbs for me that are done and dried. Even turmeric, people that are dealing with cancer, like we're telling them to take turmeric, and we have turmeric. We have the natural turmeric that was harvested and ground. It was not put in a capsule. So what we do is I make it in a tea. Ginger, turmeric, this, you make it in a tea, and then you just drink it. And lemongrass is very good for fever, for sore throat, for stuff like that. So if you go on our website, you see medicinal herbs, and start drinking this thing so that your body starts repairing naturally. And then we can start weaning ourselves from all these great pharmaceuticals that we're taking. So, but guess what? One of the major things we've done, Lori, we started an ambassador program, helping while giving help. So it's make America healthy, make America wealthy. It's kind of our mantra right now. So we're doing a lot of stuff right now, and I'm very excited.
But make sure you guys start out with using promo code Callie. That's all I have to ask.
Use promo code Callie. If they go online right now, and they should click on the link on this video and sign up if they want to join the ambassador program, because they'll all come under you. So there will be
Yes.
some career. So there will be a link under this video so that you click on it and you can go to the ambassador program. If they click from your link and go to our website, even maybe a week, two later, if they go back to that website, it will still give you credit.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love it, Dr. Stella, because I tell you what, being a podcast host does not pay well. But you know what? The truth is so much more important than all the money in the world to me. And I got to ask you, just because you know how mean people can be on the internet, although I really don't pay attention to them, I don't ever want to get a facelift. I just don't. And of course, you've got the people online, oh, you have too much Botox. And I'm like, no. And then they'll say, oh, look at your skin here. And I'm like, I'm almost 60 years old, guys. You talk to me when you get my age. Somebody had told me to use something called NAD, and I haven't used it, but do you have a product that could help women with their complexion and their elasticity? It's worth asking.
No. I don't have NAD right now, but yes, but that NAD is actually helping with cellular repair. So a lot of people have been using it, but we don't have that. I mean, I just turned 60.
Me too. Well, December's for me.
Yes, I just turned 60 in May. So I'm very proud of getting old gracefully. So let us all get old gracefully and keep whining about our skin and that. You know what I'm saying? And I am, like I said, as we start getting healthier, this past 2 years has actually gotten me. I mean, if you notice, I've lost quite a lot of weight drinking some of these medicinal herbs, intermittent fasting, because man, I was like, it was bad. So I started like, no, I'm working more and I feel much better. I feel a whole lot better. Something we cannot just continue, eating all the sugar and expect that when we finish eating the sugar, everything is going to work better.
And thank goodness. Yeah, thank goodness Kennedy is now in charge of HHS. MAHA. We need that MAHA movement. Dr. Immanuel, please let everybody know where they can find your products and where they can find you on social media.
If you go to drstellamd.com, that's the website. Use promo code Callie, and you're going to get a discount. Or if you want to join the ambassador program, make sure you let us know Callie sent you, so that way, you can work with her. And follow me on X. I'm on X, Stella_Immanuel. I'm on Facebook, Dr. Stella Immanuel. I'm on Rumble, Dr. Stella Immanuel. So follow me there so that, we can continue to do stuff together. I post a lot on X because at least that's one place they don't censor me. YouTube still kind of censors me. So yeah.
I got to be careful. They may give us a strike.
Well,
Yeah, I'm on Rumble too, though. That's why I'm on Rumble. They've already wiped out my YouTube account a couple times. So, and I was completely wiped out in 2020 because they wanted to censor all of us. But I thank God for Elon Musk for buying X and giving free speech back to the American people.
I know I have issues with Elon Musk and his AI stuff, but on free speech, I give him kudos.
So one more time, let's say your website again. And remember, folks, promo code CALI, CALI.
drstellamd.com, drstellamd.com. Use promo code CALI, you get a discount. Follow me on X, follow me on Rumble, and you know what? Give your life to Jesus. That's the safest place to be in this time.
We had a call to action at the beginning of this podcast. Prodigals, it's time to come home. Those that don't know Jesus, pray for God to reveal himself for you. Confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord, that he died for your sins, that he rose again on the third day, and you will be saved. God is separating the wheat from the chaff right now. And trust me, you do not want to end this life with eternal separation from your Creator. So Dr. Stella, thank you so much for coming on. I am going to have you on again because I want to update you on how everything is going. So we're going to do a return to this, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to look like a supermodel. I'm going to be skinny. I'm going to have energy, and my cough will be gone. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, you got to try this stuff. I feel really good right now. Revive Immunolite from drstellamd.com. Use promo code CALI. We've got Christine Bish, who's running for Congress in California. Well, she's the one that found out about Adam Schiff's mortgage fraud, and she's going to break it all down for us. So everybody, have a good week. Tell the truth, speak loudly, and stay safe. If you enjoyed this video, remember to follow me on X at Lori Mills, 4CA42, Uncover Cali on Rumble, and Uncover California on YouTube.
California